In the second part of this lecture, we are going to briefly cover some of the different types of teams and their characteristics. The first type of team is called a production team, a group of employees who actually do the work of producing a tangible product that we can buy online or at the store. Some assembly lines, for example, depending on how the work is structured. Today, we even have what are called autonomous work groups, which are really production teams that create a tangible product on their own and independently from other teams. They produce and market and sell and source and manage all of the other functions and processes required to bring a product to the shelves, so to speak. Because this type of team is because autonomous work groups are relatively new, we are still learning more about how they work and how they are different from other teams. Problem-solving teams are another type. These teams are usually composed of 5 to 12 employees from the same department who meet for a few hours each week to discuss ways of improving quality, efficiency, and the work environment. Quality circles are a type of problem-solving team that are popular in Asia. Members of project teams usually create a set of recommendations, but they rarely have the authority to implement their suggestions. Instead, the team submits their ideas and someone else higher up in the organization or some other group or team will implement them. Because members have regular jobs, they have multiple reporting relationships. They report to their bosses as well as to the team and its leader. This, of course, can create challenges for the team and its members. What happens when the team's expectations and goals conflict with the regular job? Virtual teams rely on computer technology to work together. The members are usually physically dispersed. Because of the virtual nature of these teams, members tend to be task-oriented. They are focused on the job and getting things done. Members interact less, and therefore the social rapport, the relationships that people have with one another are usually weaker than they would be in other types of face-to-face teams. Even though these teams may be more convenient and they help organizations save money, members tend to be less satisfied with virtual teams compared to other types of teams. In order for these teams to be effective, we should ensure that trust is established among team members. One thing that could be done is to bring the team members together at the beginning of their time together to give them a chance to meet one another and get to know the person behind the computer screen. We should monitor team progress closely so that the team doesn't lose sight of its goals and to help mitigate conflict. We should also make sure that the virtual team, what it creates, what it produces, is publicized throughout the organization. We don't want virtual teams to become invisible in the organization. We can establish trust through virtual collaboration, virtual socialization, and training people how to communicate using virtual technology. As we all know, using Zoom and other technologies is not as easy as it sounds. Self-managed teams are groups of employees who perform highly related or interdependent jobs and take on many of the responsibilities of supervisors. In this way, they are a lot like autonomous work groups. Self-managed work teams can have a leader, but the people that they report to are outside side of the team and take a more hands-off approach to managing that team. Because these teams have so much responsibility, they tend to be larger than some of your other teams. 10 to 15 people, sometimes more. High levels of responsibility, involvement, engagement mean that many members of these teams report high levels of job satisfaction. They feel fulfilled in their role. One of the issues with self-managed work teams is that they don't usually manage conflicts well. Sometimes a third party, like an external supervisor, is needed to help these teams deal with conflict. The last type of team that I want to mention is the cross-functional team, which is made up of employees from about the same level in the organizational hierarchy, but from completely different work areas, departments, specializations. These people come together to accomplish a task. Today, cross-functional teams are widely used in large organizations, sometimes in small organizations too. Today, cross-functional teams are widely used in large organizations. They are an effective way of developing new ideas and coordinating complex projects. They do require extra time to develop properly, namely because people come from different areas in the organization. We have to calibrate everyone's perspective, make sure everyone's on the same page, but also because each member has a specialization. Not only do we have to teach them how to do their role and how to work together with everyone else, but we also have to teach them what the work means, how it connects to the organization, the bigger picture. Understanding the big picture is especially important for cross-functional teams and self-managed work teams.